Case history. Two contrasting cases. A day in the clinic. Yesterday I had two contrasting cases in one morning at my outpatient clinic session. Case 1. A young Malay man, hardly 30, accountant, just married with one child, had a major anterior myocardial infarction, that is a heart attack, about a year ago and seen early in Kajang District Hospital. Duly given streptokinase, an agent that breaks blood clot, we call them thrombolytics, by the admitting physician. The right thing to do in a small hospital where primary infarct angioplasty needing a cardiac catheter lab with 24 hours cardiological specialist coverage is not available. This is the right thing to do. Was referred to me 3 days later when an angiogram was done and balloon angioplasty and stenting to culprit artery instituted. A late damage limitation exercise, I would say, as primary infarct angioplasty and stenting at the earliest possible time is the gold standard therapy for the last 15 or 20 years or so, without doubt. He has missed the boat, but better late than never. At coronary angiogram, the left ventricular ejection fraction was noted to be 40%. Not great when you are just turning 30, normal being about 55 to 80%. There must have been a lot of muscle loss at the point of the myocardial infarct. Yesterday was a disturbing finding. His clinic follow-up echo showed only a left ejection fraction of only about 25%. I query the progression of disease despite his lipid and cholesterol control already on the floor and ideally very low, or maybe he had an occluded stent despite no chest pain and normal stress ECG. Mentally, I thought I would bring him in and re-angio after the festive season of the Chinese New Year season to reassess and get a new coronary roadmap. KIV stenting, I made a mental note. Whatever the finding, the news is not great. The chance this nice young man celebrating his 55th birthday on statistical ground is truncated. An automatic thought went over in my mind. Unless heart transplantation become epidemic and organ donation acceptable, which is very highly unlikely, or where in 2030 a Yamaha heart or Suzuki heart become easily available. Most very unlikely. I mean, a mental note that I got to work on his soul. He looks like a good practicing committed Muslim and can take the bad news. Have to be extremely careful here though. Not many people want to know the score. Just another mental note. Another KIV. Case 2. Abdul Hakim Murad, of course not his real name, of course, is a 65-year-old Norwegian sailor, a convert par excellence, domiciled in Kuantan. I'm seeing his wife regularly in outpatient for a moderately leaking mitral valve. Hakim had a full annual and employment medical checkup in Singapore, and the Singapore doctor wrote, advised not to exert himself. The small advisory note in his report, according to Hakim, is going to affect his employability in Norway, where he works as chief steward on a mining ocean-going ship off the North Sea, a very well-paid job with great vacation period in between. He plans to retire well past after age 72. I know Hakim very well. He does weight training in the gym 4 times a week, followed by cardio, the whole session lasting about 2 solid hours. 3 times a week, he does interval training on the beach or runs up a small hill at the back of his house in Kuantan. And oh my God, this man embarrassed me. I thought my 1 kilometer swim at lunchtime 3 times a week is already exemplary. Hakim is 172 centimeters tall and weighs 65 kilogram, an ideal body weight. I have a simple formula for calculating ideal body weight. Height in centimeter minus 100. That is your ideal body weight. Anything less is an added bonus. He's almost all muscles. I did a treadmill on him that day. He completed Bruce Protocol Stage 5 at a workload of about a phenomenal 15.5 met. A year earlier, I did treadmill tests for all the Sam Dhabi footballers aged between 20 and 25, and none of them could complete Stage 5. Hakim, I have bad news for your wife. You are a 64-year-old man in a 16-year-old body. Exercise, to me, is the perfect elixir of youth. Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim.